Thank you, Lord Mayor. I've been granted a dispensation by the monitoring officer in relation to my role as a council-appointed trustee in the Midland Arts Centre. Before I start, I'd just say Councillor Trickett. I thought, not for the first time, I found myself thinking that Councillor Trickett made a very thoughtful and statesmanlike speech until the last 30 seconds, I'm afraid. I have to correct her on one thing. This is not a Tory budget. It's a Labour budget. It's being put forward by a Labour administration, and there are choices available. For instance, if you want to save libraries, as so many of your colleagues have we heard today, you can vote for the Tory amendment, and that will take some of the edge of this Labour budget. We are here because of mistakes made by this Labour administration. The Section 114 notices make that very clear. The budget documents themselves make it very clear. And I have to say, Councillor Cotton at the start, he started twice. I heard him unreservedly apologise, he said, for the mistakes that have been made. Now, unreservedly means without reservation. He then went on to speak for about 20 minutes about all the aspects of this mess that apparently aren't his fault. Where I come from, that is with reservation. That's a fairly big reservation. Because you missed out. He missed out, Lord Mayor. He missed out equal pay. He missed out the Oracle fiasco. He missed out the failure to make savings in previous years due to, as the budget document says, poor delivery. He missed all those things out. It's like talking about the life of Napoleon without mentioning Moscow, Waterloo and Egypt. That's what Councillor Cotton did. Now, we've heard a great deal of nonsense from Labour councillors today, including Councillor Cotton and other cabinet members, saying they didn't go into politics to make these kinds of decisions. Politics is about making decisions with scarce resources. Resources are always scarce. You can double the budget and resources will still not cover everything you want to spend money on. The reason we're here is because in previous years, you didn't want to do the difficult bits. You went for the nice-sounding things. You went for the nice-sounding activities. You went and had your pictures taken in hard hats at the houses at Perry Bar that aren't going to get sold for the value that you spent on them. You went and had your picture taken at the Commonwealth Games. You went and delivered Chamberlain lectures. You did all the fun things. You went along and you said, oh, we've got to make these terrible savings that the horrible government are making us make. Other people will deliver that. The officers will deliver that. There'll be some robust oversight, robust scrutiny. It'll all be fine, but we don't actually have to think about it. Well, now you do. Now you do have to think about it because of the mess and negligence that was there before. You should acknowledge that. And the other thing that hasn't been mentioned, I think, at all by anyone, and certainly not by Councillor Cotton in my hearing anyway, the other big thing, maybe the Napoleonic battles, Austerlitz of this metaphor, I suppose, is the comments made by the auditor a few weeks ago. The auditor, the external person brought in to sort out the mess, to make sense of the financial chaos that this administration has brought to us. He said in his report, and he said in a meeting, that he'd been subject to intimidation. Intimidation. And he had to go to the chief executive to have safeguards put in place. Intimidation from within this council and from an unnamed third-party organisation. I have to say, Lord Mayor, through you, to the leader of the council, what kind of outfit are you running here? I mean, we may be in the waste management business, but that doesn't make us some third-rate Sopranos. And, I mean, say what you like about Tony Soprano. He did take responsibility for people that did things within his organisation. I haven't heard the leader of the council even say a single thing about that. He should be ashamed that such things have happened. At such an organisation, he is supposed to be in charge of, and yet he accepts no responsibility. Lord Mayor, a couple of years ago, as we know, this shower promised us a golden decade ahead of us. Who is it actually been a golden decade for? Who's actually going to have a golden decade with these cuts and what's been going on? It won't be the council taxpayers of this city. They're going to have rising bills and poorer services. It won't be the residents who are living in areas that are already too dirty because of poor street collection, poor street cleaning services. No, they'll see those pile higher. It won't be young people who just use access to their youth centres and perhaps become more vulnerable to criminal elements who might lead them down the wrong path. And it certainly won't be council tenants who continue to live in poorly maintained homes and have their rents going up. No, Lord Mayor, this will be a golden decade for two categories of people, as far as I can see, rats and gangsters. That will be the legacy of this Labour administration, Lord Mayor. Thank you.